Thank you very much, Peter. That was a long delayed introduction. I'm sorry. I was in the back and I heard him introduce me, so I came up as quickly as I could. First of all, I just want to thank you all very, very much for being here at this employee forum for our new, hopefully, resort-style casino. We're very, very lucky to be working with Mohegan Sun. They are a first-class operation. They are, I can tell you firsthand, after visiting them down in Uncasville, in Connecticut, that, and after speaking with some of the employees down there, they are all really seemingly very, very happy employees. Their turnover level is probably one of the best in any company, not just casinos, but in any company that you'd see. And I think that's a real tribute to the way that they do treat their employees. One of the things that I keep hearing from some people is, you know, what kind of jobs are there going to be? You know, these minimum wage jobs, are these just entry-level jobs? You'll hear from people that know much more about this than I do, but they did a study, and we asked them to do a study, to talk about an average wage job for their employees that they have down in Connecticut. And that number was $56,000 a year. So for anybody out there that talks about that these jobs are just basic, entry-level, minimum wage jobs, they're sorely mistaken. Of course, there will be jobs for all different areas, whether it's finance or transportation or maintenance or hotel staff, restaurant, whatever. There'll be plenty of jobs, retail, obviously gaming, but there will be an awful lot of opportunity, and this is really one of the most exciting and one of the main reasons why I have been such a staunch proponent of this project since the very beginning, and that's because of the jobs. 4,000 jobs here at Suffolk Downs, as well as saving 800 jobs here that exist right now. Very, very exciting stuff for our community. But we have a couple of obstacles. I hope I see every one of you that's here tonight in the not too distant future being trained and ultimately working here in this new facility, but we have a little ways to go. And one of the biggest hurdles that we have right now in front of us is coming up on February 25th. That's when we need a real resounding yes vote to bring Mohegan Sun here to Revere. As you know, we're in competition with one other project just to the west of us over here in Everett, and their residents went out on a Saturday back in June and voted 87% for. We came out on November 5th, and while it was a resounding victory, our residents voted 61% for. Now, I know, as mayor of this city, we can do a lot better than that, but I can't do it by myself, and I can't do it with our friends here from Mohegan Sun, or even our friends here at Suffolk Downs. That effort has to include all of you in this room. You need to get out to the polls. If there was one thing that you could do, we want to do our part. Like I say, if there's people here that are interested in coming to work for this, for this facility once it's built, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that all of you have a job here. But you need to help me first, and that is to make sure on February 25th you come out to vote. That is a critical, critical day. We need to show, the Gaming Commission said, in order for us to move forward and pivot this project over to the Revere side only, they said, we'll go along with that, but you need to ask your residents to come out and vote once again to see if they want to see this project proceed. And so I'm asking you, February 25th, please, you, your family, your friends, your neighbors, break out your Christmas card list. I don't care what you have to do. Make sure you all get to the polls and vote, and then come back here that night, because I would imagine we'll have a nice celebration that night if we get a good enough vote, right? And then it'll be in the hands of the Gaming Commission, and I know, deep down, we have the best project, we have the best team, we have the best location, and we are going to be very, very proud of this new Mohegan Sun, Massachusetts. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, I'm going to sketch for you what the night is like, and this is a little bit different than your standard job event. And actually, if our team here from Mohegan Sun would filter into their positions up here on stage, because it's not a very formal event. This is actually very informal in its nature, in its approach. And probably, in a way, it's characterized, I would say, that if you were to bump into somebody at the grocery store or on the T or at a bar or anywhere, you know, what's it like to work at Mohegan Sun? What are they looking for? Can you advance there? Those kinds of things, those kinds of questions. So it's really that kind of human-to-human interaction that we're looking for here, rather than a didactic type of interview. So it's very different. And actually, that takes place after they present. We're going to open up the food lines, and then you'll get a chance to go get some snacks, and then we're going to migrate over here to the tables or in back, and then we're just going to go out there and work our way through the crowd, answering any questions that you have. So that's our general approach, and I'll go over this here in a minute. Well, first off, before I get underway here, are there any more elected officials in the crowd? Okay, anybody who wants to be an elected official in the crowd? There you go, okay. So actually, I'd like to acknowledge Chip Tuttle, our Chief Executive Officer here at Suffolk Downs, that gave us this beautiful venue. I mean, this is like a perfect event for something like this, and that, you know, we're from, our last event was in Palmer, so this is so different in terms of what the approach is here. Okay, so when you look at it, the mayor talked about jobs, and there are jobs that are going to be, you know, 4,000 jobs, 20% of those jobs are going to go to Revere residents, but also within a 15-mile radius, 75% of those jobs are going to go to the folks within that 15-mile radius. So this project, even though it's located in Revere, it really is a regional event. It's an event for regional growth. You know, the other thing that we have, too, besides the jobs that we're offering, we have a points program where we're going out into the community and signing up small businesses where a player can go to any business out in the area and use their Players Club card to redeem their points and actually buy goods or services from local businesses. And with us here is Tracy Wilson, who is heading up that program. Tracy, if you would identify yourself. Now, Tracy also headed up our sponsored marketing department earlier in her career, so actually she can also speak to what it's like to be an employee of Mohegan Sun. Standing next to Tracy is a person who is really, more than anybody, responsible for our RFA2 application. Our RFA2 application is the written application that we had to fill out and submit to the Gaming Commission. And it's 5 major areas, and this thing was 17,000 pages. I mean, it was literally this tall. It was literally this tall, and this was done by a giant team of people, like most efforts, within like a 17 or 18-day period. And this project was really marshaled and directed by Gary Luderitz, our Vice President of Development. Gary? So Gary will also, when we break up and we actually migrate to the tables and have some snacks, he'll also wander. I think that I talked about the jobs. Also, we're looking at how are we going to train people. Now, we do most of our training within, and actually Don will speak to that, but we're also hooked up with a consortium of community colleges here in the Commonwealth. In particular, community colleges here are Bunker Hill Community College, Roxbury Community College, and I think North Shore Community College. Because to train for positions, also the training that we're going to do in-house, it's all about preparation. And we got time to prepare because timeline-wise, where we're at, is that this thing has really been a marathon, but it's actually been both a marathon because we've been at it for 5 years in total, but then it became a sprint. You know, in the last couple of months, it's become an unbelievable sprint, actually. So we have the RFA2 in. We have that in. On January 22nd, we presented to the Gaming Commission, and we're going to show you a video here tonight that we used in the closing of that particular event. That was a 90-minute event where we presented all the facts and circumstances of our particular project to the Gaming Commission, and also we had already submitted our application. So that was a giant step that was underway. As the mayor indicated, the next step, which is up to the citizens of Revere, is for them to give us the go-ahead on February 25th. Once that happens, and we're hoping that's positive, once that happens, we'll move on to actual selection by the Gaming Commission. And that'll probably occur sometime in May or June. And our published build-out, if we're selected in May or June and we're awarded the license, then we'll get underway. I mean, we're already underway, too, in terms of refining these designs. And actually, I noticed a number of people talking with Ed about the model. The model is interesting. And actually, I'm a project person. That's my role. I'm the project coordinator, project manager here on the ground. But actually, I served as the vice chairman of the Mohegan Tribal Council from 2000 to 2005, and actually worked with this particular architect, Cohen Peterson Fox, during that time. So I know their work, I know what they can do, and the work that they can do, this particular project, the physical building, does connect with and complements the community of Revere. And that's what it was designed to do. You know, the nature, the people and place of the community. And so it does that in a very large way. But I'll tell you, that's the project. It's beautiful. It's got all these things, and I can spend a half an hour talking to you about it, and would love to, you know, after this. But it's not about concrete, glass, and steel of who we are. It's more about blood, bone, and muscle of who we are and the people that we have. Those are the things that create our competitive advantage, because we can compete in competitive markets, and it's our employees. It's the essence of our employees. It's their determination. It's their skill. That's what makes us different. So, and that's why today we're going to hear from them. And actually, to my right here is Don Trella, who's our Director of Guest Relations, and has spent a number of years in the human resources area. To his right is Hernan Salas, who's our director of our retail area at Mohegan Sun. And Hernan is also a citizen of Chile, who's originally from Chile. And actually, we have interpretive services today, too, also from Hernan, and also, and the person next to him, Maria Echeverra, from our HR area. And Claudia Carrera, wherever she is out there, for members from the Latino community, if we need translation services, they'd be more than happy to help you out. So Maria is in our HR area. And then Don Bowen is our director of table games, which is a very large department, you know, in the casino. So what we're looking at here is some breadth: retail, HR, table games, and then lastly is Derek Williams, who heads up our hotel operations. Because, as you know, and you can see on the model, with this particular project, we're going to have two beautiful hotels. One hotel that looks out over Winthrop, looks out towards the beach, because this project is designed to look at the history and bring the outside in, to bring Revere into this project. And then one right here looking over the track. You know, this track that has a 75-year history, a very storied history. And we're proud to be here. We're proud to be here and to be part of it. So what we would like to do is we'll show you the video here for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then I will hand the controls over to Don Trella.
This decision is about far more than building a casino. It's about possibility.
About promise.
About a vision for the future.
The future.
It's about providing the
greatest economic impact for the Commonwealth.
and putting people to work.
Yes.
Just as Suffolk Downs did in 1935.
And once again, making Revere
a thriving tourist destination
that draws guests of all economic walks of life
Who will come here from Boston, the Commonwealth,
the region, and the world.
We understand this kind of vision and have the New England know-how to turn it
into a reality.
It's what we have done before, and we'll do again in Revere.
We're proud of what we do every day.
We treat our guests and employees the way we believe
every person should be treated.
With courtesy and respect.
We will do all of
this in a way
That'll make the local community
And the Commonwealth proud.
We have a dedication to diversity, a legacy of integrity, proven programs of partnership,
and a history of responsible citizenship in the communities in which we operate. All of us are ready to get started.
on Mohegan Sun, Massachusetts, and become part of your community. In fact, it would be an honor.
Hey, I'm a Yankee fan, and that thing makes me cry. So, anyway, Mr. Don Trolla.
Hi, thank you. I get goosebumps every time I see that video. Well, thank you very much for having me and the team here to come up and talk to you a little bit about what it's like to work at Mohegan Sun. You know, as Peter did the introductions, but you know, each one of our panel members up here kind of have a very interesting story to tell. You know, Maria, as Peter mentioned, was in HR, but she came by way of cashiering operations, by way of a little stint in poker, back to cashiering operations and in HR. Donald Bowen came to us from Atlantic City, and he'll be able to talk to you about, you know, progression and career growth within the table games area. Don started as a dealer. By the way, this is Don's first time to the Boston area. Yes. He's never been here in his life. So welcome, Don. And you know, Derek has an interesting story to tell too. His first position was, I believe, in the Players Club, right, Derek? And today he's our hotel manager. And Hernan, he came to us out of the theme park industry. So they all have some very interesting stories to tell. And you know, I won't take too long. We'll get to the stories very shortly. But as Peter said, my title is the Director of Employee and Guest Experience, but what we really want to talk about here tonight is the employee experience. You know, so the buck really stops with me in terms of, you know, the employee experience at Mohegan Sun. So I just want to give you a brief overview of our philosophy and how we operate, and then turn it over to the team. The environment that we create is really centered on something called the service profit chain. And I'm not sure how many are you familiar with that, but it was actually developed here in the Boston area at Harvard back in the 1990s. And, you know, as you might expect out of an Ivy League school, very complicated, a lot of analysis behind it and that sort of thing. But essentially, you know, that's not the way I'm going to explain it. Essentially, it's a pretty simple concept. You know, and here's kind of the boiled down version. Happy, involved, empowered, engaged employees leads to extremely satisfied and loyal guests, which leads to improved profit. So how do we get there? How do we get there to start with? So for starters, we know that our leadership, our management team, really sets the stage for the environment for our team members. So we continually train our leadership team on the softer skills. And when I say leadership team, I mean supervisors, shift managers, directors and VPs, and senior VPs. We train them on the softer skills of management. And we tell them that, you know, kind of the holy grail in this whole thing really is when we ask, you know, a team member, who's the best boss you ever had? They could say you. You know, so that's kind of, you know, what we aim for. You know, our leadership team from top to bottom, from our CEO, Bobby Soper, all the way down to our line level troops, our supervisor level, is committed to providing team members with a fun, positive work environment. You know, we understand that we're in the business of selling fun. It's not a rocket science, right? So we try to create a fun environment for our team members and a positive work environment for our team members that transfers over into the guest experience. So, you know, how do we create these types of things, right? We have team member parties, regular team member parties. We look for excuses to throw team member parties, right? We had, you know, we have an entertainment venue called the Wolf Den, and we shut it down during the week for a temporary time, and then we reopened it. Oh, we should have a team member party to reopen the Wolf Den. You know, we have employee huddles, team member huddles every day where each department is encouraged to have a huddle. And they used to call them pre-shift meetings or, you know, kind of, you know, what's in store for the day. But we take, you know, 5% of that and really communicate from a business standpoint what people need to know in the morning. But 95% of that time spent in that pre-shift meeting or that huddle is really about creating some sort of fun environment, a trivia contest, something that people are going to get energized about so that when they go out on the floor and they take care of our guests, they're in a good mood. We actually set up, as a matter of fact, we've got written up in published in a magazine about our employee arcade. We have this huge back of the room area where there must be 15 or 20 different arcade games, from ping pong to Pac-Man to ice hockey to basketball to, and again, the team members love that sort of thing, to be able to go there and on break time or before their shift or after their shift and just, compete against fellow team members. So, that's how we create the fun environment. We also encourage our team members to to participate and use the property. It's again, we're in the business of selling fun. We want them to go out there and experience it so that they could be more knowledgeable and, be able to transfer that experience to the guest. And I think we take a lot of pride. It's kind of a loose kind of environment. We don't we take pride in the fact that we don't take ourselves too seriously, which is a good thing. We talked about involvement. We involve our team members in a number of ways. We have a team member survey every year where we look at, kind of continually raising the bar. We get that team member feedback. Each department is responsible for putting together different action plans based on their comments, based on the scores, and how are we going to make that employee or team member experience better next year. We have a Bright Ideas program where employees are encouraged to participate. At any one given time, we have, somewhere between 50 and 100 ideas floating around. The criteria is very simple. It's, give us an idea, provide us an idea that, either improves guest service, reduces costs, or helps us improve revenue. Very loose criteria, and we've got some exciting stories to tell about that. And there are rewards for employees whose ideas are implemented. We have roundtable discussions with our chairman and our CEO and our COO, where once a month, either a breakfast, lunch, or dinner, they get down and sit down with the chairman of the board, our tribal chairman, as well as our CEO, Bobby Soper, and our COO, Ray Pino, and our frontline employees sit down and, depending on their shift, we'll either have a breakfast, lunch, or dinner with the chairman. So we're always looking for ways to kind of create that environment where people are involved and know that we're encouraging getting their ideas and suggestions and hearing their concerns. And then we have an awesome communication department, team member communication department, where we have a biweekly magazine. We have MS News, which is a news program that is really produced by Mohegan Sun employees themselves. And we have these TVs all over the property, and employees can get the news via a television, kind of like a news segment. We have an intranet. We now have a team member Facebook page. So, it's all about involvement. When people feel in the know, right, they feel as though that they're part of things. And, we empower our employees, too. We have a program called the Make It Right program. And we never really put any boundaries on it. We just said, here are some coupons that you could use. If any guest comes to you with a problem, right, you can use one of them, you can use 5 of them, whatever it is that you think you need to do, issue these $10 coupons to the guest to make it right. Our employees don't have to go to a supervisor or go to a manager to fix a problem. They can fix it themselves, So that's where, the empowerment comes in, right? So if you feel empowered and you feel involved and you're totally engaged and you feel in the know, that's the kind of environment that we want our team members to work with, because they're our partners in all of this. So that's how we create what I think is a very unique team member environment. Something that is different than I've ever experienced, and probably most of us. Just off the subject a little bit, you're probably wondering, so a lot of questions that we normally get involve what kinds, what do you look for in a new hire, right? What's on the front end of all of this, right? And, I kind of go back to that statement I made before. It's not a rocket science, right? I would tell you this. We look for people for whom it is not an unnatural act to smile. That's it, right? That's it. It's pretty much that simple. You heard Peter talking about, some of the training that we offer, and we do a lot of training internally. So it's, And we certainly appreciate, our relationship now with the Massachusetts Casino Careers Training Institute and the community colleges, because so we'll be looking for them for assistance as well. But it's really a simple business. We look for people that, within their DNA, it's just kind of natural for them. They get enjoyment out of making people's days and creating experience for other people and service. So, that's in a nutshell kind of what we look at. And so if we find that right personality, I got to tell you, there's a spot for them at Mohegan Sun. And the other thing I'd like to bring up too is that we promote internally, right? We post everything internally before we go externally. So, a lot of key to the success is, getting your foot in the door and showing what you can do, and then there's a huge amount of upside potential and opportunity going forward. So I just kind of wanted to give you just a little overview of what it's like to work at Mohegan Sun, but really the stories will come from the team here. So I know Peter said afterwards we'll be around, and if you have any questions, please feel free to come up and talk to us. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Don. So for those of you that need a personality transplant, we'll be doing those after the program, over there at 7:30. Okay, so our next person here is Hernan Salas, who's our Director of Retail.
Wow, those slides are bright. Buenas noches. Good evening. How are you? My name is Hernan Salas. In the United States, my name is Hernan Salas in Spanish-speaking countries. H you don't pronounce in our country, so that's the difference. But anyway, listen, I came to Mohegan Sun 13 years ago from the amusement park industry, and my point is to tell you that, well, I don't have experience with the casino, I never worked with the casino, it doesn't matter. It really does not matter. I came from Six Flags before I worked at SeaWorld in Orlando. I've been all over the places, all over the world, doing different things. And you fit right in Mohegan Sun if you know what it takes to make customers happy. And to make customers happy, I tell people in my department, I work in retail, and we have 54 stores and 34 different restaurants. We call it retail operations. It's like 1,800 employees altogether that they work for different third parties. And we tell people three things, very, very basic three things. Do what's right. All of you know what's right. Do your best. Everyone knows what is best. And treat everyone the way you want to be treated. I personally, when I go to the store, when I go to a restaurant, I want to be treated right. And it's exactly what I enforce or I ask my employees to do. My employees, 60% of them, they've been since Mohegan Sun opened 16 years ago. That's tremendous in this industry, 60%. The other 40%, probably 10 of them, well, 15 don't fit, because in every institution people don't fit. The other ones, they just move on. We have college graduates, we have directors at Mohegan Sun who started retail, we have managers at Mohegan Sun who started retail. So it's an upward mobility. You go in, you learn, and you can move up. If you work for us, and Don and everybody else here can tell you that we're just one group. I always tell people, what is my job? I get blamed for everything. Other than that, it's like, I'm not in charge of absolutely anything, and I cannot do it without their help. So what does it take to work at Mohegan Sun? Exactly what Don said. You just had to smile, you had to be happy, and you had to come to do 8 hours of work a day, and you'll be just fine. My employees, they're all grandmom, their mothers. We celebrate their kids. We celebrate their success. When things go wrong, we are with them. We're a family. We're literally a family. And I always tell them, well, you do have a Spanish in your family, even if you didn't know, I'm the one. So listen, it's easy to work at Mohegan Sun as long as you want to do a good job. We're going to train you. We're going to give you the tools. We want to work with you. And one of the goals of Mohegan Sun is to be successful. And in order to be successful in this world, you have to provide the best customer service ever. Competition is tough in every field, from science to retail to restaurants. And the only thing that it makes us any better than anybody else is how we project and how we treat our customers. You cannot fake it. You cannot smile and be like a supermarket and say, have a good day, have a good day, have a good day. It doesn't work. It has to be genuinely, it has to come out, it has to reflect that you're enjoying what you do. And as long as you do, you're fine. Mohegan Sun has given me tremendous opportunities. As I say, I have 2 kids graduating from Massachusetts schools, actually, Massachusetts Maritime Academy. So I'm very familiar with the state, and I paid the tuition as well. But if you want to succeed, Mohegan Sun is the place. And as I walk around the table, please ask me questions. I absolutely can tell you that if you do speak Spanish, if you do speak French, if you do speak whatever language, we can use you. It's a place for you. And if you want to have a place where you go home and after 8 hours you feel pretty good and you don't have to worry about what's going to happen, Mohegan Sun is your place. Thank you.
Thank you, Hernan. Actually, to his point, if you look at the model, there's about 150,000 square feet of retail space that is in this project, and it actually parallels Winthrop Avenue. And I'd be glad to point that out to you on the model. So that's significant in terms of the amount of stores that are going to be in there and retail items and also restaurants. So Maria, you're next. This is Maria Echeverra from our HR department.
Good evening. Thank you so much for coming out. My name is Maria. I'm honored to say that I've been with the company 17 years. When I started, I came right out of high school. I wasn't sure what I was going to do right out of high school, whether I was going to go to college or if so the casino was opening up and I figured, let me just apply. So I did. I started off as a cashier. And as Don mentioned, they promote within. So slowly I worked my way up to cashier and operations shift manager, basically just overseeing all the cashiers and lending support and taking care of all our guests' needs, whether it be VIP or just a local come in to just play for a little while. And basically we just cash checks, redeem chips. And within my time within cashiering, I figured after like 15 years of working there, I wanted to try maybe poker, and I tried table games. So I transferred over to the poker room, opened the poker room, and then I didn't realize, I kind of felt it wasn't for me. So the company has a policy where if you try a different department and you don't like it, you can go back to your old department without losing any of your seniority and your days off. So I tried going to poker. Yes, you can clap to that. I went back to cashiering where, that's where my heart was, guest service and the cashiers. And, working for Mohegan Sun is like a family, so I felt like a special bond with the cashiers and some of the guests that I saw on a daily basis. And like Hernan said, there's a place for everybody within the company. There's a place for you. You can be utilized. And if you're uncertain when you get out of high school or college and you're saying, what direction am I heading? Come to Mohegan Sun. There's different jobs, like I said, finance and table games and hotel operations. So after 17 years of working in cashiering ops, I decided to, as Don mentioned, they promote within, so I applied for a employee relations specialist position. That's what I'm currently, my current title, and basically I'm just working with team members, so the same level of guest service that I provided at the windows, I'm giving to other team members. I lend support. I oversee hotel operations, so Derek will call me sometimes just for some guidance as far as handling certain situations that team members or concerns that they may have. So it's like a big family. I can't say it enough. Working for Mohegan Sun is like a big family. We lean on each other for support. We call each other when we're having a bad day. At home, we talk about our upcoming birthday parties or, like I said, team member parties and getting together and just having our huddles and promoting a fun environment for our team members. And just working for Mohegan Sun, it's just, I leave happy knowing that I've made either a guest smile or another team member smile or addressing any concerns or lending support or, I can go on and on. I don't want to keep you, but you can ask me any questions when I go around the room at the end of this presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Maria. Actually, to her point, they took a big family scary ride getting up here, and there's about 7 inches of snow in Connecticut. I mean, it's snowing quite a bit more down there than it is up here. And I guess we'll all get ours on Wednesday, anyway. So, and actually to Maria's point, that the jobs are going to be here. They're not going to migrate. They're not going to go to South Carolina, then on to some other place in the world. These jobs are going to stay here. And when kids getting out of high school, it does give them an option, that they may not have normally. So there is something to be said for that. So when it comes to jobs, Don Bowen heads up the table games area, which is probably one of the largest departments in the casino. So Don's here to tell us all about what it takes to be a dealer in the table games department.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for having us here tonight. We really appreciate the opportunity to come up and talk to all of you. I like to tell people that I started my career as a nervous dice dealer opening night of Caesars. That was 35 years ago, and I was 6 years old at the time. But that's how I got my start. And for us in South Jersey, who lived in and around Atlantic City, casino gaming was a godsend to the area. It afforded me, a young man just in college, an opportunity for a fantastic job. As I said, I started as a dealer. I went to dealing school, and opening night, they threw me on a $100 minimum crap table. And I was scared. But I spent the next 24 years at Caesars, and I like to brag and say I've worked at the 3 best casinos on the East Coast. I was at Caesars for 24 years, and then when Borgata opened, I got promoted and I was able to go over there. And then in 2006, I was given the opportunity to come up to Mohegan Sun. I tell people Caesars was good, Borgata was better. Mohegan Sun is by far the best place I have ever worked in my career. To echo what others have said already tonight, we do have a very relaxed approach to our jobs. Sometimes I can't be relaxed because I'm in charge of the casino and we have rules that have to be applied, but there's always wiggle room there too. And as everyone said, we do promote from within. We have our own dealer school, and it's free. We will teach anyone off the street 2 table games for free, without a promise for a job. But as Don said, if you're a naturally nice person and you're outgoing and you like to have a good time, you're going to have a job at Mohegan Sun. And I don't think I'm telling tales out of school that when I say that we will have a dealer school up here and train dealers. And when we were campaigning in Palmer, we had the idea of training them up here now while the casino is being built, giving them the opportunity to work at Mohegan Sun, Connecticut. That way they can transfer back up here as a supervisor in 2015 or whenever this place opens up. So I don't think I'll be telling tales out of school if by saying that we kind of plan to do that up here as well. My table game department, we have about 2,400 people in the department. About 1,800 dealers, 500 or 600 supervisors, and table games managers. So we've got a very large operation. We have 280 some tables, over 5,000 slot machines. It's a very large operation. But despite that, there is a feeling of camaraderie, and there is a feeling of family. And I make everybody well aware that I have an open door policy. Anybody, everybody is welcome to come and talk to me about an idea you might have, a problem you might be having, because I tell everybody, if you don't tell me it's wrong, I can't fix it. I invite everybody to come to my office, stop me in the casino. What's up? How you doing? Let's sit down and have a cup of coffee. That's the way we roll at Mohegan Sun. It's a fantastic place to work. The feeling of unity it just permeates every department. And I think that if February 25th comes and you invite us into your community, you will be very pleased that you chose Mohegan Sun. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Don. Actually, our next person is Derek Williams, who heads up our hotel operations. And this project, like most projects, that it's a resort, it's a destination resort. And what makes it a resort is the hotel operations. And at this particular site, we have the two hotels. We have what's called the Boutique Hotel that overlooks Winthrop Avenue, and that's about 175 rooms. And then the hotel that overlooks the track here, that's about 350 rooms. And that within that, there's about a 20,000 square foot, we're calling it an entertainment space, entertainment and event space. And so that it can actually do musical events, it could do boxing events, it could do a variety of things. It could do major meals. It has seating for 600 or so in terms of its banquet facility, and it's probably set for about 950 or so when we do musical events. And actually on the project too, there'll be not only that musical venue, but there'll be 2 or 3 other venues that'll be available that'll be a little bit smaller, like the Wolf Den or Cabaret, those types of things, so that we can have that variety. Also, there are like 3 major conference rooms for 50 guests each, where you can actually, Revere could become a conference stop for people in terms of planning conferences. But really, what does make a destination resort the resort is the hotel operations. And here to tell us about that is Derek Williams.
Well, good evening, everyone. I just want to let you know, just for some clarification, on the video you saw, that was me. Thank you, because some people were asking, was that Denzel Washington, and that was me. We didn't bring actors in to portray anybody. It was me, so thank you. Well, very happy to be here. It's an honor to be here, and I said it on the video, and I mean that. Any Revere residents for quite a while out there? Oh, yeah. I used to, a lot. Anyone familiar with the drum and bugle corps that was in the area? Yeah, 2-7. I competed against them. I was in the Garfield Cadets, and we came up, East, right? You know what I'm talking about. All right. So coming back to Revere in the North Shore, it's just, in this area, I had friends in Winthrop, so just to be able to come back to this area, it's like home to me, because we had quite a few competitions in this area, so I was very excited. Felt like Don, my first time, felt like, eyes were wide open to come back to this area. Old stomping grounds, But anyway, again, honored to be here, and just looking forward to such a great opportunity for this community. I am the hotel manager at Mohegan Sun, and as Peter mentioned, destinations services are what we're all about. So when you come to Mohegan Sun, you have reached your destination. That's the feeling we want to give people when they come. Just your GPS says that, and you want to have that person saying you have reached your destination. So I started my career 17 years ago at Mohegan Sun, 17 very quick years. I started in the marketing area, in the Players Club area. That's where the player rating cards are made, and people then begin to earn their points. As mentioned, Tracy will be running efforts up here for the various areas to allow you to, use your gaming points for retail, etc. I started in that area as a supervisor. I came in as a supervisor primarily because of my previous experience in banking with what is now Bank of America. Used to be MBNA, but now Bank of America. So I had some management experience, so that did help to come in and, as mentioned, a positive attitude, a good smile, and just a good, willing desire to serve guests, serve people, enabled me to come in and become a supervisor right from the start. From that area, I remained in marketing in a different capacity as an executive host, dealing more with our guests that come in, making sure that all their needs were met, accommodating them in any way we could, just making sure that when they're on the gaming floor, if they're looking for comps based on their play, anything we can do to show our appreciation for their patronage or their business. So I went into that area and as an executive host, and then fortunately was promoted to a manager in the host department. So again, many opportunities were available for me simply because of just being there and being committed to Mohegan Sun, and they committed to me as well and just gave me opportunities that came about. From there, I am now in the hotel. I've been in the hotel for going on 12 years. I had a daughter a month after we opened, so that's how I keep track of their ages, because she's 17 now. And then and my youngest now is going to be 12. So and our hotel opened up in March, March, April of 12 years ago. So, so now I'm looking, and my daughter is considering school. She's thinking about a school in Boston University. She's thinking of coming up this way. If not, she may stay local for a little while, and it's something to know that she may get a job at Mohegan Sun to earn some income for college. She may take a course or two and actually earn credits while at Mohegan Sun, because we have a tuition reimbursement program that she can take advantage of. So it's coming full circle now. Like I said, I began there with a newborn, and now she's going to start perhaps her career, launch her career right at Mohegan Sun. So I'm excited about that. Again, as the panel made mention of, we're going to be here to talk to you, and I'm just excited about the opportunity to even come up again and again to share with you. I've had Maria and I think Ernan might have gone down we all might have gone down to Pocono Downs to help. So there's always going to be assistance and service. We're a big family, so we go to Mohegan Sun and Poconos, we feel right at home because it says Mohegan Sun, and the culture is the same. Guest service is essential. Valuing our guests. If we treat them like loyalty, they'll repay us. If we treat them like royalty, they'll repay us with their loyalty. So we believe in that. And so, it's a big family, so it would be just the same here. I'd take every excuse to come up here anytime to assist in any way. So you're going to be in great hands. We'll take care of you, and your people will just be blown away. So many opportunities. Thank you for allowing us to come up, and we're looking forward to speaking with you more. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Derek. So actually, to Derek's point that he said that he was in banking prior to working at Mohegan Sun, and for myself, I was at Life and Casualty, and I've been with the company since '97. So it's not unusual for people, it's actually pretty common for people to come from other companies and other backgrounds in terms of migrating into this particular industry. That's a pretty common thing. So it's not exactly always a linear exchange. So, and I actually would put emphasis on this, the word invite. We are very thankful that the citizens of Revere have invited us into their community, and that we'll go out of our way to deliver a resort and an opportunity to them, as the mayor says, that is transformational in terms of the future of Revere. But it's also historical in what it recognizes. When you look at Revere and its history, that it can really, and the beach and those types of things, that it really is the bridge to the North Shore, and I think that we can really provide some of the fuel to help that happen here. So we are happy to be here. Something feels very good and very right about, and we could have never planned this, but here we are. Here we are, and we're pressing in for the goal line, in the red zone, and we've got to hope that on February 25th that comes across, and then we're off to the races after that, folks.